back again. All right, you know what this is? This is the game two of the NBA Finals post-game show of the Format Podcast. Real quick, thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. So, as you know, if you are a basketball fan of any sort, we're in the NBA Finals. Boston Celtics won the first game in Golden State in San Francisco there, and the Golden State Warriors in true championship fashion bounced right back in game two, and they won big, 107-88. And well, what do we have to look at here? I think you got to look at it and you got to say, well, you didn't expect the Celtics to go to San Francisco and win two games on Golden State's home floor. We always talk about one of the key things in any playoff series is being able to get that win on the opponent's floor, right? It's if you can't get that, but you don't have home court advantage in the series, then obviously you can't win, right? Being that there's 4 games in Golden State and only 3 in Boston. So even if Boston won all theirs at home but couldn't get one in Golden State, well, we know what would have happened. Golden State would have won the series. So Golden State now has gone ahead and tied this thing. And hopefully we're going to get what we want, which is a 7-game series coming right down to it. And hopefully we don't get any more blowouts. We get some really quality games going all the way through. Steph Curry bounced back in this one. Even though he had less points, he played better, shot better. He had 29 points in the game last night. But what I really want to touch on, and this is not going to be a long episode, but what I really want to touch on is we know that Mark Jackson built the Warriors into kind of what we're seeing today. And once he was dismissed from being the head coach of that team, Steve Kerr stepped in and took it to the next level. Now, he's already a 3-time champion with the Golden State Warriors as a head coach, maybe 4 after this one. But I'm wondering, as outstanding as a head coach as Steve Kerr is he really getting the credit that he deserves for his greatness as a coach? And the reason that I say that is because you look at it. Since Steve Kerr took over, Golden State is hands down, without question, the best third quarter team in the NBA. You watch it and you say, what kind of adjustments is Steve Kerr consistently able to make at halftime that his team is just so outstanding at coming out of the locker room and blowing people off the floor? Example, last night, they won the third quarter 35-14. The Golden State Warriors, throughout his tenure as head coach, have had a consistent habit of coming out of the break and blowing people away with a huge third quarter run, which basically makes it so their starters don't have to particularly do too much in the fourth of a big game like that. So you wonder and you say, what type of adjustments are being made? Meanwhile, Boston obviously came down off of their first game, their game 1 win. And I think you had to expect Golden State is multiple time champions. They weren't going to roll over, especially in their house, and go down 0-2, right? Obviously, if you were a Celtics fan, you would have hoped that would have happened, but that's just not, for the most part, what is going to happen with a team of this quality and this level of experience. They bounced right back. They did what they were supposed to do, turn around and defended their floor. Now they have to go across country. They have to go to Boston, and we'll see what happens there. Jason Tatum, pretty solid game, 28 points overall, but most of those points came in the first half. So you got to wonder, okay, where was it when Golden State was going on that huge third quarter run? And again, the Celtics are far from the only team to fall victim to that. This is just really interesting to see. You're wondering now, if the game is tight going down the stretch, who's going to be the player to step up for either team? Are we going to see total full game performances put together by either Tatum or Brown or Klay Thompson or Steph Curry? When are we going to see that in this series? We haven't seen it yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of what comes about in terms of a tight game situation, which eventually is going to happen because these are 2 outstanding defensive teams. You're not going to see, I would hope you wouldn't see too many more blowouts in this series. So another thing that I thought was interesting, and I think I talked about this in the wrap after the first game, you saw White, Horford, and Marcus Smart all have bad games last night. I think White had 2 points. I think Horford had 2 points. Horford was coming off of 26 in game 1. He had 2 points last night. So this is kind of what I was saying. You really can't expect Marcus Smart also 2 points last night, right? These are not guys that you could have expected to come out here and continue to carry the Celtics the way they did in that first game. You need, as much as bench and role players have to play quality minutes and have to produce in order for a team to win championships. More than anything, you need the stars on those teams to do their thing. Now, if you look at it, Jason Tatum, 34 minutes, 8 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 9 from three, 28 points in the game. That looks good. But again, most of that, I want to say 21 of that, or I want to say 21 of that came in the first half. So now you've got 7 points in the rest of the way, which turned into a rout. That's not what you need from them. Jaylen Brown, 5 of 17 from the floor, 17 points. So Jaylen Brown, he did his thing the first game while Tatum was off. And now you have Tatum doing a little more of his thing this game, but then Brown is off. So you're wondering, if you're the Celtics or if you're the Celtics fan, you're wondering, well, can these guys ever get together and have those two big games in the same game? Like back in 2016, when you saw the Cavs come back from the 1-3 deficit to win their championship, and you saw Kyrie Irving and LeBron James both have 40 points in the same game. Now, I'm not saying that you need both of these guys to have 40 in the same game, but if you could have both of these guys get 25 in the same game in these finals, that would be a really good thing for the Celtics. They need that. They need that. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Golden State, and you're wondering, where has Klay Thompson been in this series? Last night, 4 for 19, 1 of 8 from three. He finished with 11 points. I think he's like 10 of 33 from the floor and overall, and 4 of 15 from three so far in this series. So I don't know if he's just not making shots or if the Celtics are doing a really good job on him. Probably a combination of both. But if you're the Celtics, you also can't count on Klay Thompson not being able to find the bottom of the basket. At some point, he's going to explode, right? Could be game 6 Klay or game 7 Klay or whatever you want to call it. But at some point, he's going to go off. You need to be very prepared for that. Continue doing what you're doing defensively, but you also need to be prepared that at some point the explosion is coming. So I guess you got to look at that two ways, right? If you're Golden State, you got to feel good that you were able to run away with this game with Klay Thompson shooting the ball so poorly. But if you're Boston, you got to be worried that you got blown out that way with Klay Thompson shooting the ball so poorly. I mean, again, 4 of 19 and 10 of 33 in the series so far, and you haven't really been able to get that convincing win. So you got to be concerned that when Klay Thompson goes off, as long as, you know, at least one of the other guys on that Warriors team is playing well, it could be very, very dangerous. So this is a really interesting series so far. You know, Udoka's probably not very happy at all with what's going on there in terms of, I would say, a great deal of defensive lapses last night, as well as a lot of turnovers. I want to say Boston had like 18 turnovers in the first half, or maybe 18 turnovers overall that led to like 33 points for the Warriors. We know you turn the ball over in any sport, right? You turn the ball over, or the puck, or whatever it is, you turn it over and you give the opponent opportunities to score off of those turnovers, you're not winning the game, right? So the Celtics, they've got some stuff to work on going home, but they did what they were supposed to do, and that was to go there and to split, get at least one of those games. Obviously, you go there hoping you can get both. You want to win every game. But if you can go there and get one, you go back home in very comfortable fashion, right? So now you're in a situation where you've got 5 games remaining. It's 1-1. You're tied. You're not coming from behind. So if you're the Celtics, obviously you want to be able to protect your home court. You want to win both games there before going back to Golden State for a pivotal game 5. If you're Golden State, then clearly you want to try to snatch one of those. And if you can get back home tied, again, now it's down to a best of 3, and you've got 2 of those in your house. You're in pretty good shape. So we are shaping up to have what looks to be a very good finals coming down to the end. Can't wait to see it. All right. And that's all I got on this. This was a real quick one, just touching on a couple of things in terms of last night's game. So you know what to do. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, lower right corner of your screen, click the notification bell so you can be made aware when new episodes pop up. If you want to get the audio only version of the podcast, wherever you get your audio podcast, just type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. Leave a comment, and on whether it's on the audio podcast platform or whether it's here on YouTube. And if you can, give us that 5-star review. Appreciate it. And yep, that's it. I'm out. Peace.